Yes, so the view from the parapet was enough to make one dizzy. But after 3 months at the monastery, George Hanley was not impressed by the 2000-foot swoop into the abyss, the deepness, or the remote checkboard of the fields in the valley below. This, thought George, was the craziest thing that had ever happened to him. For weeks now, Mark V had been churning out acres of sheets covered with gibberish, patiently, inexorably, inexorably. The computer had been rearranging letters in all their possible combinations, exhausting each class before going to the next. As the sheets had emerged from the electromatic typewriters, the monks had carefully cut them and pasted them into enormous books. In another week, heaven be praised, they would have finished. George heard the heavy wooden door slam in the wind as Chuck came out to the parapet beside him. Listen, George, said Chuck urgently, I have learned something that means trouble. What's wrong? Is the machine not working properly or behaving properly? That was the worst contingency during this time, and work is going to stop, they'll get into problem. George could imagine it might delay his return, then which could be nothing more horrible. No, it's nothing like that. Chuck settled himself on the parapet, which was unusual because normally he was scared of the drop height. You have a phobia of heights, people start feeling dizzy. So I just found out what all this is about. What do you mean? What do you mean? I thought we knew, sure we knew what the monks are trying to do, but we didn't know why. It's the craziest thing. Tell me something, growled George. What the hell do you know? Tell me though, what are you saying? Well, they believe that when they have listed all his names, God's names, and they reckon that there are about 9 billion of them, God's purpose will have been achieved. The human race will have finished what it was created to do, and there won't be any point in carrying on. Then what do they expect us to do? Commit suicide? There's no need for that. When the list's completed, God steps in and simple winds things up, bingo. There you are done. Oh, I get it. When we finish our job, it will be the end of the world. Chuck gave a nervous little laugh. But I don't think that it makes the slightest difference to us. After all, we already knew that they were crazy. Yes, but don't you see what may happen? When the list's complete and the last trump doesn't blow, or whatever it is that they expect, we may get the blame. It's our machine they have been using. I don't like the situation one little bit. I see, said George slowly. You got a point there. There are just two of us and hundreds of these monks. I like them, and I'll be sorry over old head lama when his life work backfires on him. But all the same, I wish I was somewhere else. The two engineers are talking to themselves. They're discussing what the hell is going on. We are doing our job. The computer is constantly finding names and constantly giving them printouts and finding what happens when they finish finding all the God's names, 9 billion names. Does the work finish there? Does the world come to an end? What will happen? What is the use of knowing so many things about 9 million names of God? Then the other friend says, Chuck says, no, he'll be just coming in. Will God's purpose has been achieved in their religion? That has God told them to find all my names and put it into a data. What do they expect us to do? Commit suicide after we finish our work? So George is saying no. After the work is done, God will come and he'll say, okay, great. Bingo, you have done a great job. Come on, let's close it off here. And it will be the end of the world. God will say, okay, done. You have found my names. Come on, done. Now finish off. So Chuck gave a nervous little laugh. But I don't see what makes the slightest difference to us. What do we care? We already know that they are crazy. People like that, who's going to find God's name there? Yes, but I don't see what may happen. But when the list is totally complete, the last trump, when they'll say, okay, done. In Christianity, uh, the we believe that there'll be a sound of something at the last. When the world comes to an end, there'll be a trumpet sound. So that's called the last trump. So we haven't heard that yet. So it might happen when the world is going to end. We don't know. So doesn't blow or whatever it is that they expect. They are expecting that something, God is going to give a reason for them to see them when they have finished their work of 9 billion names. We may get the blame if the work is not done properly. God might blame us. It's our machine they have been using. They might catch hold of us. We are only 2 of us and there are so many of the lamas there. They'll beat us up and then tie us up and do whatever they want. I don't like the situation a little bit. If something happens, it goes wrong, we will be to blame. They might blame the computer, they might blame us. And George said slowly, yes, you have a point there. But anyways, there are just 2 of us and there are 100 of monks. I like them. I'll be sorry for the old head lama when his life work backfires on him. The head lama's interest was this. So he said, what will happen if this does not work out for them? But all the same, I wish I was somewhere else. I don't want to be here. This is not a type of job I want to do right now, finding God's names. For some lama who has told me. So we finished there yesterday and we'll start from the new point. I have been wishing that for weeks, but there is nothing we can do until the contracts finish and the transport arrives us to fly us out. The transport calls in a week, said Chuck thoughtfully. If we time matters properly, we can be down at the airfield when the last name props up out of the register. They won't be able to catch us then. They are planning to now run off. You keep the computer, do whatever you want. Every week there's a call from the transporter, the plane comes. So the vehicle or the plane or whatever comes, the transport comes to fly us out. Either there's a helicopter they have come by there or they have come by traveling and then they'll go take a jeep or something and go travel out and be there. The transport calls in a week and Chuck said thoughtfully, if we time matters properly, if time actually supports us, we can be down at the airfield when the last name here is popping out or out of the register. They won't be able to catch us then. They are waiting for that last name. If that last name even goes wrong, the whole thing is going to go wrong. So by the time they read the name and all, we will be out on the airfield, we will be the plane and we will be out from the country. 7 days later, tough little mountain ponies carried them down the winding road. I am sorry for those old guys up there. I don't want to be around when they find what suckers they have been, said George. After a week, 7 days later, they were sitting on small ponies and going down the hill, where cars and things cannot reach there. In Tibet it happens, in Nainital it is there, where the cars don't go, horses go, the horses take you. And even in your pilgrims, when you go to Vaishno Devi and all, horses take you on those roads. You're supposed to walk, but people who can't walk, they're taken on horses because vehicles don't reach there. Either you go by chopper, that's a helicopter, by air, or you go by horse. So they are quietly sitting on the horse and going down winding roads, I guess they're going away. I'm so sorry for these poor old guys, I don't want to be around when they find what suckers they have been. When they find out that what useless people they have been, that he doesn't want to be around them. Because it's quite of a useless thing, finding 9 million names of God. That's what they are thinking, and communication, that's in our daily life. What makes us so thoughtful in our daily life, with computers, my computer is going to give me all the information. So that is what it's all about. It's a contradiction. He turned in his saddle and stared back up the mountain road. This was the last place from which one could get a clear of the Lamsari. He turned on his saddleback, sitting on the horse. He thought, let me see it for the last time. That from that place you could see the monastery or the lamastery where the lamas stay. And after that you won't be able to see it, so they'll be gone. He knew exactly what was happening up on the mountain at this very moment. The High Lama and his assistants would be sitting in their silk robes inspecting the sheets as the junior monks carried them away from the typewriters and pasted them in great volumes. No one would be saying anything. The only sound would be the incessant, means continuous, without impression, the patter and never-ending rainstorm of the keys hitting the paper. For the Mark V itself was utterly silent as it flashed through its thousands of calculations of a second. Would the monks smash up the computer in the rage and disappointment, or they would just sit down quietly and begin their calculations all over again? There she is, called Chuck, pointing out to the valley. Ain't she beautiful? So we'll keep it till here. So they're traveling down, they have gone, they have left, because they don't want to stay there anymore. Now let them do whatever they want. So they are presuming that the computer is constantly printing away. The Mark V is printing only that sound, and they are taking out sheets and they are seeing the names, or they are verifying and they are cutting it into volumes, they are making it into books, they are trying to take out God's names. I don't know if something else happens, if they don't find the right name out of an alphabet, what will they do? Will they break up the computer? That's not the computer's fault to give God's names. How will the computer know what are God's name? It's man-made. By that time, or they would just sit down quietly and again start from the beginning, what is to be done. And suddenly then they see this airfield from in the valley, two hills and a place between the hills is called a valley. They see Chuck pointing down into the valley. She said, ain't she beautiful? Ain't she beautiful means, isn't she beautiful? That means there's a plane or a aircraft standing for them to leave. So we'll come back in the next class and do this. Okay, so I'll keep it till here and I'll mark it so that we can get to know the where we are doing it. So see you till then. Take care of yourselves. Be good, be happy, and love your parents and respect them. Bye bye, good luck, and see you soon. And read your chapters again, okay?